if you're a landlord in the city of Philadelphia, you probably know that it can be frustrating and sometimes infuriating dealing with tenants paying their bills and you sometimes being left holding the bag. I wanted to talk to you about the general policies for the city concerning different utility accounts, and also talk to you about some of the measures that we take to make sure that at the end of the day you're not held responsible for issues caused by the tenants. So in the city, there's three basic utility companies. We've got the electric service, gas service, and water. As far as the electric service goes, this is a recently deregulated utility. Generally, PECO is the largest provider, and it's advisable that you have the tenants put the electric into their name. This is a utility that the property owner is not going to be held responsible for. If the tenant doesn't pay, the electric company simply goes out and turns off the electric. It's not your responsibility, to make sure that that is paid. It's theirs. So that's something that is fully the tenant's responsibility. Gas service is a little bit different. Now, gas service, again, we require our tenants to put all gas service into their name prior to moving into the property. You may have noticed in the past, you may have done this with tenants in the past, and regardless, you end up getting a notice from the gas company in the mail, a lien notice that the tenant didn't pay the bill and it's being liened against your property. Well, there's a couple ways to avoid this from happening. First of all, often the gas company will notify you if if the tenant has not paid. But beyond that, you can sign up for the landlord cooperation program. The gas provider in the city is PGW, or the Philadelphia Gas Works. And a few years ago, they set up what they call the landlord cooperation program. It requires you to have a valid rental license in the city of Philadelphia, and also to go on to the PGW website at pgwworks.com and sign up for their LCP program. It's a very simple process. You provide them with the property address, your name, and contact information, as well as your email and the rental license number for the property. Once this is done, it absolves you from being responsible for that gas bill. So that if the tenant doesn't pay, there are certain regulations that you have to adhere to, like if the tenant doesn't pay and the gas company needs to get into the property, you're going to need to provide access. But generally, it's a very simple process. They email you if they need to touch base with you. Other than that, it's very hands-off. But it's a very, very important way to make sure that the gas is paid and that you're not held responsible. The third utility comes from water revenue, and this is a little bit infuriating. Whether you know it or not, the city, there's no way for a landlord to be absolved from water charges. Now, there's a couple ways to protect yourself from this. Whether the tenant has the water account in their name, or you as the owner maintain the account in your name. Ultimately, if it's unpaid, it'll be liened against the property and it'll be your responsibility. So there's a couple steps to take. First of all, I'll recommend to every landlord, make sure you keep the water bill in your personal name or in the name of the the entity that owns the building. Second of all, bill your tenant every month. We provide statements each month and invoices each month to our tenants. These invoices include any current water charges as well as their current rent, and if there's late fees that are unpaid or a balance, that's on the invoice as well. So you're providing the charge. The third thing is make sure that you're paying it. If you're getting the invoice in the mail, pay it and then bill the tenant. That avoids any late fees or accruing balances where it's a heck of a lot easier to pay a $50 charge one month than a year later realize that there's a $1,200 water bill against the account. So like I said, that's the process that we take. We recommend that any landlord that is doing business or renting properties in the city, that they really keep an eye on their utilities, because at the end of the day, if they're not paid, ultimately you're going to be held responsible regardless of whether it's the tenant's responsibility or not. Again, my name is Josh Weidman. I'm with Atlas Property Management. If you'd like more information about our property management services, I urge you to contact us by visiting our website at papropertymanagement.com or calling us at 866-832-6319.